Wes, let's start with you. Jamie's had a pretty busy start to this season. Found out he's got a kid. He seems to have a lot of sex in this season. And he's also potentially trying to kill his sister before she kills him. Quite a season for you, right?
Just another day at Yellowstone. Yeah. Yeah, it's you know, he's always an intense character to play. It's always a big event. Seems like every scene is some big moment for him, and the way Taylor's written him, and so it's exciting as an actor. That's what you want to do. You want to have those moments, but it's been the most challenging, most difficult because everything's so big, you know, and just trying to navigate a human going through all that can be tricky.
I mean, the stakes in this show have been raised since, every season it seems, but certainly for Jamie this year, particularly. The scenes with Beth, I don't know if I'd say they look like fun. You usually come off on the worst end of that, right?
Yeah, almost always. Yeah, even when I come out good, I come out bad. Yeah, getting dragged down the hallway is not fun. It's always a tough day when I know we got a Beth fight scene coming, but it's also exciting because there's so much in there, and Kelly's so great to work with, and we've built up so much history and so much animosity that it doesn't take a whole lot anymore. We can just kind of be on screen together, and that's enough to have that tension. Yeah, like I said, it's a tough guy to play, but a fun guy to play.
I'm sure Kelly enjoys beating the shit out of you sometimes.
She does. Yeah.
Talking of Kelly beating the shit out of people sometimes, in this season, Piper, Summer has a pretty intense dinner scenes. Have you been invited to any dinner parties since that's aired?
No, since that dinner, no one's invited me back to their house for some reason.
Right. There's a couple of bits in that episode. Obviously, she doesn't particularly like what's being served, and then this gets taken outside. Not too dissimilar to Wes's Jamie, I guess, in that sense, with you and Kelly. Can you talk about those scenes? They look pretty intense.
I was excited for things to come to a head between Summer and Beth. I think Beth is a worthy adversary, and if I'm going to stay in that house, the laundry's got to get aired. So I was waiting for it and just getting as strong as I could to be ready to fight her.
She started out as John Dutton's sort of environmental enemy, then girlfriend, then she goes to prison. She's out on parole, living at the ranch. Is she now part of this screwed up family?
I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty proud that Summer has gotten as far into the house as she has. Not all the enemies last as long as Summer has. Not quite sure if it's safe for her to stay where she is, but I think I've got Beth on my side a little bit now, so that makes me feel a little bit safer.
Yeah, that's fair. Gil, Beth doesn't seem to want to beat you up, at least. That's or
not yet.
Not yet.
No.
You play Thomas Rainwater, chief of the Broken Rock Indian Reservation. He's had an interesting relationship over the 5 seasons with the Duttons. Friend, foe, friend, foe. Could you talk about where we are now with Thomas and John and the family?
Yeah, it seems to be a shift in alliance from being basically contenders and then the animosity in the beginning, and then approaching it, I think, originally with such tension because we both want the same thing for different reasons, and then I think as we have other players, corporate interests coming in, we realize that we've got to really establish a united front for the time being, and then we can do our separate battles, later. But it's all about the land, which I think is what the central issue or the central idea of how both the reservation and its people and John Dutton and his family are relating to the intimate contact to the land. So, whatever Rainwater needs to do, he's, gone off and got himself educated. He's going to use the white man's ways to try to accomplish that.
Because, in a way, they're after the same thing, but in slightly different way. They both want Montana to essentially stay in this the way it is, except I guess if we go back, there's a bit of animosity between...
Well, yeah, ultimately it's to keep the land in the pristine condition that it was originally made or was, the state that it was in, and John has such a deep respect for it because of his ancestry, and of course my people have a very deep connection with our ancestry. So we relate to the nature of how we're connected that way.
We were joking. I was going to spend most of this panel. I do want to point out Gil's sneakers. Before I ask this question, look at these, because they do. The reference is, I was going to ask you how you think the show's dealt with the portrayal of indigenous people and the Native American experience, and you seem to be wearing them on your feet.
Yep, that's how I represent.
How do you think the show's dealt with that over the last few years?
How do I what?
How do you feel the show has dealt with the portrayal of indigenous people?
I think it's remarkable. You know, I go back a ways with Taylor, so the representation of Native people was always respectful, even from the beginning to back to Hell or High Water days, and then more specifically Wind River. You know, thank you. I'll pass that on to Taylor. You know, to handle difficult and complicated issues with the Native people is not an easy thing to do, but Taylor does it so beautifully, and he's continued to do it in Yellowstone, you know, with contemporary representation, with a Native character that, you know, has agency, intelligence, you know, very different from the stereotype of what the Native people were portrayed in the last 150 years, so we're really excited about that.
Stephen, you've been working on Yellowstone since season 2. You directed half of this season. Are you just living out your John Ford fantasies on Montana?
Yeah. This is pretty much the best, it's the best gig I could ask for.
How have you seen the show change from 2 to 5 on your level?
You know, other than that we can't go anywhere anymore. You know, it gets more complicated because you can start painting with finer brushes, you know, and we all know each other well. We're a family now. We all trust each other, and I think that's, you know, practically that's the biggest change. Is now we're working more intimately, which is a blast, and we've, you know, there's really it's you know, Taylor writing and Christina and I sort of playing, and so it's really, it becomes, there's a rhythm for cast, for crew, for everybody.
One of the joys of watching this, you know, other than the crazy stuff we were just joking about there, is it's an incredible landscape to watch, right? How is it for you to direct that?
It's, you know, it's you turn a camera on. You have incredible words, incredible actors, and then Montana, and then I shut up and get out of the way.
I'm sure it's more complicated than that. But
it is. He's an incredible director, and he's made the show so much better just for being a part of it.
Wes, going back to Jamie, we sort of alluded to it, but he is the black sheep of the family. But he's a very complex character. Is he a good person with flaws, or is he as rotten as some of the others?
It's a great, I mean, it's two perspectives, right? So I could have my outside perspective of what Jamie is, but it's been, you know, I learned it from someone else, but a big rule for me is to not judge my character from within. Because none of us do that. We all think we're great. We all think we're doing the best we can and whatnot. And so I think Jamie thinks he's doing the right thing. I think he sees what he's doing as more pure to the idea than even John's of maintaining the rich, keeping it, because he feels like he knows how to do that. And he keeps getting, you know, ignored and pushed aside. But, so, you know, as I play him from a spot of just him seeing himself through the world. So I get shocked when I get told, you know, things like, he's such a terror, he's so mean, or he's such an awful guy, and so it's jarring, because I know he is in a way, but coming from his perspective, that's always kind of, it's tricky for me, I guess that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, no, I bet. Piper, your character, the politics are quite interesting with Summer, right? She's obviously coming at this from a different point of view, but just almost like what Gil mentioned, there's a nuance to this. It's not black or white, right?
Yeah, I think one of the things that I like about Summer, especially in this season, is that although you could see her as kind of a lefty activist, what her superordinate goal is preserving nature and the world and the environment, and she sees that John wants that too. And she's coming at it from a really different angle than he is, but that he fights for that is really attractive to her, and she sees in him a fighter. And I like that about the show, that it's talking about people that come from different points of view that can agree on certain things that are worth protecting.
Because when people talk about this show, you often see it written that this is a red state show. But I think those people who say that perhaps haven't watched it. They haven't perhaps seen the nuance of maybe Taylor's words. Is that fair?
I think that's fair. I think one of the things that I like about this show is that it has both perspectives, or I should say more than just two perspectives, has many perspectives. And that's my experience in the real world, is that there's many voices, and it's nice to have a show that's trying to do all of that.
Stephen, I'm going to throw you the tough question. Where are we with Yellowstone season 5? Any idea of where you're?
Shoes. Look at these shoes. They're really cool.
Shoes are amazing.
Shoes are amazing.
Who made those?
When are you going to shoot? When have you seen the scripts? When are we going to see it? Come on, Tish.
Taylor is, in Texas spinning, hay into gold, and we're hoping we'll do it soon. Everybody's excited. We got, feet in the blocks. We're ready to go. So we're all excited, and we're hoping it's sooner than later.
Okay. Wes, where do you think Jamie is in the second part of season 5?
What's been great about Taylor's writing is he literally surprises me every time I pick up a script. It's something new, but it's usually tough. So whatever it's going to be hard to do. Yeah, I think.
I'm going to ask you all this. Piper, where is Summer in where we pick up? Where would you like her to be?
I mean, I can't imagine what's going to happen to Summer next. That's what's sort of terrifying. I hope she's okay. I'm waiting with bated breath.
Fair. Gil, is Thomas Rainwater and John Dutton going to be friends, foes when we return? What do you reckon?
Well, as we've left it, this first half of the season, he was surprisingly coming on board about the pipeline and great support for that. But then Rainwater's dealing with some internal conflicts of, ends up, trying to get me replaced. So I think I'm going to have to address that.
Well, we look forward to seeing all of that, and please say thank you to Wes, Piper, Gil.
Hey everyone, thanks for watching. If you want to support my channel, you can buy one of my graphic novels from the link below, or you can buy one of my t-shirts. And also remember to click on like and subscribe.